Let's talk about powwows. Powwows are traditional gatherings of indigenous peoples from various tribes and nations. It's a cultural, social, and spiritual event for indigenous communities, although all are welcome. Powwows are held throughout North America and have been an important part of Native American and First Nations cultures. Participants come together to honor their heritage, showcase their traditions, and strengthen their community bonds. It typically features traditional dances, singing, drumming, storytelling, arts and crafts, and food. Powwows are almost always open to the public, allowing people from different backgrounds to learn about and appreciate indigenous cultures. The origins of powwows can be traced back to the early 19th century, when different tribes began gathering to share their customs, songs, dances, and regalia. Over time, powwows have evolved and adapted, incorporating elements from various indigenous cultures while still maintaining their distinct regional and tribal characteristics. Dancing is integral to the event and is a form of cultural expression, storytelling, and connection to the spiritual realm. It's prayer. Each dance has its own significance, style, and purpose, often representing specific aspects of tribal history, ceremonies, or nature. Dancers wear traditional regalia intricately designed and adorned with feathers, beadwork, quills, fabric, and other materials that reflect their tribal affiliation and personal identity. Male grass dancers wear strands of yarn or ribbon hanging from their arms, waist, and legs to represent grass in the spirit world. This graceful dance is done with a flowing motion to mimic the prairie grasses. The story of the grass dance comes from a young man who had one hurt foot but wanted to dance. He traveled to the prairie, where he prayed for guidance as he limped up a hill. On top of that hill, he decided to develop his own style of dance. So he started swaying and swooping in the grass. It's been said that this is the origin of the grass dance one might see at a powwow. There are two types of traditional men's dance, Northern and Southern. The Northern men's traditional dancers wear bustles and long feathers, usually from an eagle, that burst from the dancer's waist. Many of these regalia pieces are passed down through the generations, owned by their fathers and grandfathers. For the men's traditional dance, spectators will sometimes stand and remove hats because of the abundance of eagle feathers in the regalia. Southern straight. Southern men's traditional is also known as Southern straight. Usually they wear cotton, buckskin pants, a shirt, and a breastplate of bones that may stop at the waist, but breastplates sometimes go down to the knees as well. And the Southern traditional dancers also wear a roach, or a porky roach, or a combed headdress made of deer tail hair or porcupine gourd hair. Men's fancy feather dancers are often youthful. This is the most active and athletic dance style. The brilliantly colored regalia have double bustles behind their backs, with smaller bustles on their arms. Spectators are often drawn to the feathery display of color during the energetic dance. Particularly in the men's fancy dance, a friendly competition may emerge between the singers and the dancers. Stopping with the end beat can mean winning or losing points in competition powwows. So sometimes the singers will perform a trick song containing an unexpected last beat in an attempt to throw off the dancers. Women's fancy shawl has two steps, a regular dance and a crow hop. To dance this style requires flashy regalia, oftentimes with fully beaded yoke, hair clips, wrist cuffs, bracelets, and moccasins. Sequins can be used to create a flashier look, but the entire thing hinges around the shawl, which has an applique pattern, long flowing ribbons, and serves as the centerpiece of the dance. The dance is said to imitate the graceful, swooping beauty of a butterfly. Therefore, dancers always hold at least one of their arms out, because a butterfly is never seen without at least one wing aloft. The dancers are judged for creativity and innovation in their dance steps. Rhythm and repetition adds a sense of order to the dance. If a dancer does a trick on one foot, they need to be able to do it with the other. If they dance to the left, they should be able to dance to the right. Often, steps are repeated in sequences of 4 to represent the 4 directions and balance. The second step, the crow hop, is an imitation of the way a crow moves across the ground. It's been said that women were dancing in men's fancy dance regalia before the fancy shawl existed, until it was decided that they should have their own dance. Fancy dance regalia shows that while preserving the basic designs of our history, new materials such as sequins, ribbons, and fabric can be merged with the beadwork and feathers, resulting in regalia that expresses a uniquely native identity. The fancy dance itself is a combination of intricate footwork in response to the beat and tone of the music from the drum and the singers. The women's jingle dress. Throughout Indian country, women and girls don their jingle dresses and mesmerize powwows as they move lightly, kicking out their heels and bouncing to the drumbeat. The dresses, also known as prayer dresses, are lined with rows and rows of metal cones, traditionally made from the rolled-up snuff can lids and hung from the dress. The cones create another melody as the dancers move, mimicking the sound of falling rain and bringing a sense of peace. The dance itself began just over a century ago when the granddaughter of an Ojibwe medicine man fell sick. As the man slept, he dreamt, over and over, of 4 women as his spirit guides wearing jingle dresses and dancing. The women taught the man how to make the dress, what songs to play, and how to perform the dance. The spirits told him that making the dress and performing the dance would make his granddaughter well. When the man awoke, he set out and made the dress. And once completed, the tribe gathered to watch the ill girl dance. Now, at first, she was too weak and had to be supported and carried by the tribe. Slowly, she gained her strength and performed the dance on her own, cured of her sickness. The young girl was likely infected with the flu pandemic of 1918, which hit Native communities around the Great Lakes quite hard. This was closely followed by a ban by the government on ritual dancing on reservations. Yet, despite this, the jingle dress dance spread from the Ojibwe people first to the Lakota and then on to the rest of Indian country. Today, the jingle dress dance is performed at powwows across the country, with the women and girls often dancing with feather fans, eagle feather plumes, and eagle feathers in their hair. As the dress and dance have spread to tribes from coast to coast, it's grown to represent both healing and pride, a spiritual form of wellness and celebration that links us to our past and helps us move forward with strength and hope. The women's traditional dance is a slow, bouncing step that involves rhythmically dipping and swaying to the beat of the drum. Traditional dresses of buckskin or other materials are often decorated with beading, quill work, bone, or shells. The colors for this dance tend to be more reserved than the other regalia. Heavy breastplates, chokers, medallions, purses, buckskin moccasins, and leggings made of bone or beads are the necessary pieces for this outfit. A folded shawl is draped across the left arm. Going clockwise around the circle that originally housed a fire in its center meant that the left side of the body would be colder, and this was to help keep the women warm. It's usually the older women who do the women's traditional dance. In the right hand, the dancer carries a feathered fan, originally to shield her face from the smoke of the fire. On certain songs, it's raised in sync with particular drum beats as the head is bowed to show respect. Drum groups provide the rhythmic heartbeat for the dancers. The drummers sing traditional songs in their native languages, accompanying the dancers and creating a powerful and immersive atmosphere. Powwows play a vital role in the preservation of indigenous cultures. They provide opportunities for intertribal exchange, cultural education, and the passing down of traditions to younger generations. Powwows also serve as platforms for raising awareness about contemporary issues affecting indigenous communities, promoting cultural pride, and fostering unity. It's important to approach powwows with respect, understanding, and appreciation for the diverse cultures they represent. As a guest or visitor, it's customary to follow the protocols and etiquette established by the hosting community. Now, this includes obtaining permission before taking photographs, refraining from touching regalia without permission, and honoring any sacred or ceremonial spaces. It's important to note that powwows are dynamic and ever-evolving, and new dance styles may emerge over time as cultures intermingle and traditions evolve. Each dance category holds profound cultural, spiritual, and historical significance, serving as a medium for storytelling, connection, and the preservation of indigenous traditions. I hope this sheds some light on powwows for you. And the next time you hear of a powwow being held anywhere near you, please go. Enjoy yourself. Have some food. Have some fry bread. I think you'll love it.